picks. Now it's all going to come down to this. Again, a reminder, we do have a giveaway going on down below. It is the grand giveaway, so be sure to click the image down below and enter it for free for a cool computer. Without further ado, this pistol round is going live, and NRG is gathering up at B apartment. The Rogue is playing forward.
Cadian needs to hit some shots. Guimond was forced to fall back, which left him out to dry. He'll allow one or two to jump out of the window. Cost him his life, but Hiko striking true. That actually reduces all terrorists that were down on ground level. And it's Fugly on the long flank from Catwalk, and Daps' body will be buried up on top of the platform. Fugly alone, 1v3. Rogue so far have won a ton of the pistol rounds, if not all of them so far. They took them both on Nuke, and going to continue on with that tradition. Hiko picking up a nice three-piece at the end of the round especially. That
was huge, because, you know, like, the main B defenders went down, right? I mean, like, Guimond and Hiko are normally the B defenders on the site on gun rounds, but they actually had Cadian over there as well this time, who likes to triple stack sites. And he triple stacked over at B and got caught, and so did Guimond, but then Hiko, big individual effort, 3 huge kills. Make sure that the round still goes Rogue's way, despite what looked like overwhelming forces entering into B for NRG.
So we've seen this one happen before as well on Nuke, where NRG's second round was able to take with their force buy, steal it away, and upend Rogue's early momentum. And that's what really put Rogue on the back foot. They were hardly ever on their CT side able to get an op into Cadian's hands. So hopefully Rogue are able to just push this one aside with minimal casualties and keep all that money in the pocketbooks in case something rainy day comes their way or what have you. Vice to throw a flashbang, possibly to Cadian a peek, but he's pressured before that can actually develop. Cadian will get the kill out there anyway. Guimond's going to come and support from Catwalk. And your guys that have weaker pistols and everything else are struggling to fight. Breezy staying alive as long as he can. He wishes he had one more round in that Deagle. Daps will just look to pick up some extra frags, but for the most part, Rogue are looking very pretty. They only lose the MP9, no biggie.
Yeah, no biggie at all, and it was able to get a kill on its way out, so getting an extra cash bonus for the SMG frag, and they'll keep an UMP in Guimond's hands. Could even see Cadian go for an SMG again. He knows that NRG are onto a full save this round. He could try to print some money with it. Guimond actually upgrades and drops his UMP to Cadian. As of course, Cadian wants to get an AWP as quickly as possible, so the fact that he doesn't have to spend money on a gun this round certainly helps him out big time in that regard. And this round should be a mop-up. That's what you'd expect. All NRG members coming mid. Vice spotted some of them already.
Oh, man. Vice got to get out of there. He was respecting it, too. They need to respect it more. They peek out, and it's just instant Glocks. Damage, not able to move. You're tagged up. And Cadian dies, and Vice and Sick are threatened. Mondo will come across Catwalk, and the move speed from these pistols, it seems like they're having trouble tracking this. How fast and mobile they are right now. Pop flash into mid. That's how you use your utility to its effect, and the aim punch is preventing Fugly from finishing off the wounded Sick. So there's the start Rogue need, and since they're starting on their CT side this time, they'll be able to really get an op for the longer bit of it, considering NRG had such a strong first half on Nuke.
Yeah.
There wasn't much time for Rogue to right the ship and get money in their pockets for Cadian.
Yeah, so now NRG is going to be on to the full buy, AKs across the board. And this is a team that, again, Daps in the past usually just like to do slower 1-3-1 type defaults, but this team likes to work fast. They like to control connector as quickly as possible, so you're definitely going to see them fight for mid control and just try to get a connector as quickly as they can, or ladder room. They don't like to just sit around in mid and loll around. They like to, you know, keep up the pace, and that is definitely a little bit of a different approach
the Halls
Daps teams in the past. And yeah, look at this. Rogue just pushing 2 people through upper B. Cadian holding the angle with the op to let them do that, which leaves A really vulnerable. They have 2 players in connector, though, and the attack is split up, so...
Well, this is fine now, as long as the connector guys can hang on. They spot that there's somebody up in Palace. This has to make a move. Hiko is forced to walk out, so those guys in connector have to stay alive to at least stop the front brunt push. And I'll even allow the T's onto the site, but at least stop the pinch. But you've got terrorists that are now working at wrapping this. Breezy spotting, but loses the first fight. 1-3 looks beautiful for Rogue so far. Only Ethan left. 1v3 now. Bomb is miles away. I don't know if Hiko actually poked out and saw that the bomb was back there. He was walking in the upper T apartment side by the time the fireworks started popping off.
It's just kind of one of those crazy things that are like, you rarely see two people just push up or B like that on the opening gun round of a game. Like, that's something that maybe comes a little bit later as you get reads or something like that. But they go for it right away, which, again, they left A really vulnerable. It's just two guys sitting in connector. That's the only A defense that there is. And if Energy would have decided to go for a fast A play, it could have gone, you know, way different, but they don't. They just kind of play more of a slower default, and Kamal's able to push underpass. He catches a kill. Hiko catches the bomb up top at upper B. It's just an all-around bad time, and now Ethan's stuck in a 1v3 that he has no chance of winning. He's trying to see if he at least can get a bomb plant. Gets the kill, but not going to have time to plant.
He might get clocked. He ducks, 11 HP, and he'll just chill out behind this bench. There was a threat to get clocked there, but yeah, by the time his boots hit the ground on site, it was like 5 or 4 seconds left, so not enough time to be able to plant that bomb unless he was perfect to sticking it, and still dead at that point. But a 4-0 start, this is how Nuke started for Rogue. They just needed to be able to hold on tight and give Katie in a couple angles, but he's been quiet all the way back to Nuke, and hopefully they can put him in a position to make some waves.
Rogue looking to get the aggression somewhere else this time. Instead of upper B push, is going to be a top middle push. Probably know they're up against a lower buy. They'd be right. Energy, though, looking to see what they can do. At A, a quick push-up ramp with all these pistols and the 1 AK of Ethan.
And Vice will fall back. They're respecting pistols still. There's 1 AK saved from the last round. Pistols will try and confuse it all. Breezy with the pistol work. Making good effort out of this. Cirque even picking up an op out of this. This wouldn't be a bad thing to be able to save here, especially now the smoke will cover his retreat. In fact, he could still win the round, but he would have to be very nimble in rotating around the map to catch a player and then turn into a 1v1. But at that point, time might start to become a problem. But this is a fantastic little eco round from NRG so far. Pretty straightforward, too. Just straight out A main.
Yeah, so Rogue again getting a 5-0 start, very similar to their 5-0 start on T-side Nuke. So they've been the king of getting good early starts. It's all about, can you hold off Energy from recovering? I mean, that's going to be the big thing. And also, Rogue is getting these good early starts by gimmicks, like doing these aggressive plays, catching Energy off guard, just doing things that aren't standard. It's just a curveball that Energy can't seem to spot out properly and still, you know, find a hit on. And Cirque, he still has a chance at this 1v2, but he won't check his close angle. Vice will get the headshot, collect the op for Cadian, and Rogue will be off to a hot start once more.
So looking to improve on their first half capabilities. They've stopped the bomb plants. Hasn't happened yet for NRG. It's just flat loss bonus. It's been maxed out at this point. So Ethan's going to be a little bit short, favoring his utility over the top. Actually, he's going to get a weapon donated to him. It's going to be Daps that's on the CZ, rather, like we saw on Nuke.
Right. And so, again, Energy's kind of taking that same approach they took in the first round, is playing a little bit more default, but certainly a lean towards the A-bomb site. 3 players waiting outside already. This is one of the things I've been seeing them do, is like one top mid, 1 B apartments, and 3 A. They actually open up with this a decent amount if they're not going for a fast split right off the top of the round. Though it's a different, like, they don't really have set positions on this map is one thing. Like, I've seen Fugly play where Daps is playing right now oftentimes, but he's actually at A with the rest of the pack instead of Daps. So I think they're still not really set exactly on how they want the roles to be on every single map, but they certainly have some opening formations they're comfortable with. And Breeze, he does find that opening on A.
Breeze is just sprinting in. It's very dry. In fact, the flashbang from the CTs forces Vice to turn to prepare for it, but Breezy was ahead of that curve. It's a 3-on-3 with a minute left. NRG are happy with this rate so far. Sick is in jungle. Guimond will be coming across CT towards Ticket Booth, but this smoke can't last much longer. They will try and wait all the while for Daps. It's merely a CZ, but an extra body is basically allowing a little bit more room for riflers to have angles. They spot Guimond over towards the Ticket Booth, and Sick, it's a shame that he came out of jungle. He'll join hands with Guimond. Just forced out because of the Molotov.
That's a big one. Yeah, that's huge. They don't really have a smoke to block all CT spawns, so they needed a kill, and they used the Molotov to flush someone out to get it. Now they have that advantage, and now they might be able to get in here and do something. But again, there's such wide choke points. It allows CTs to peek so freely, and they get another kill, but Energy responds quickly and gets the bomb down.
Oh, if Hiko can just get the planter first, the support is way up in the palace. In fact, he turned all the way around. Daps is coming to support directly now. Hiko's alone, 1v1. He takes palace first. Fugly behind the tall box, but he'll peek out wide. Just tap Hiko down. And that is a return to glory for Rogue. giving, for NRG, they get that round back, and it's looking like it's playing out very similar to how Nuke was. The economy's still there for Rogue. They can breathe a little bit, wiggle room.
Absolutely. Still plenty of money on Rogue to get a full buy going, including the op still in the hands of Cadian, but NRG can start to recover, especially if they can win this round. I mean, this is kind of a 2-for-1 deal round. Whoever loses is going to have to take a save, and Vice goes for that crazy little jump on top of the cat railing, but NRG just got out top mid way too fast. And here is one of those faster 1-4 sets we were talking about that NRG really like to do on this map. They love to 1-4 it.
Oh, flashbang. Breezy should have had that one. Cadian should have been dead to rights there with the pop flash, but he caught the flash too. And he'll peek out and get double peeked himself. Sick is now next up on the menu. He'll take the first with Guimon working the crossfire across Catwalk. He'll take 2 more, and suddenly NRG are looking a little bit worse for wear. Initially, as that round started, they had full mid control, but the late presence is here. Sick being Molotoved off of the workbench, pulls back, dies. 2-on-2 now. Cirque 7 HP, still good enough for an op. As Hiko jumps into the window, the bomb makes it to site.
Yep, Cirque low HP here. Connector trying to cover so that bomb can get planted, and it's planted for Connector. Both the Rogue members will be coming through jungle, though, so this could get interesting. Hiko might... Or excuse me, this Opera Cirque might get backstabbed. He's so focused on middle, but he does turn the corner, so they won't be able to get him right away if they beat Connector. Now they're making noise, and Cirque knows what's up.
Cirque's in a real strong spot. They're not looking mid. I mean, Cirque is going to be the ace of the sleeve. Who cares what happens to Daps over here? Hiko's actually gotten to the bomb, and there's a smoke on the bomb. Hiko pulls off of it and takes care of the back lines. That got a little bit sketch. I like the play from NRG, the way they just even planted the bomb. I believe they had Cirque watching Catwalk while it was planted for Catwalk, and then they could just play that side.
And the thing is, Rogue just, when they see that bomb plant location, they know someone has to be Connector out on middle to be guarding that, or maybe on the Catwalk. So they just tap it, draw that out, get the kill. And they also picked up the player on ramp as well. So just a really well done, 2-on-2 retake from Rogue, just kind of sticking together, playing off each other, using their smoke and a tap on the bomb to lure people into vision and winning their fights when they needed to. And so they reset NRG right away. Now, luckily, NRG got a bomb plant. So because of that, they actually do have the option to do a buy here as opposed to what would have likely been a full save or maybe just some upgraded pistols. Now they actually have everyone armored with head armor, and they have 4 CZs, an AK on Ethan, and an okay amount of utility. So,
yeah, this is... They sense that there's blood in the water. It's better to buy this round and do economic damage rather than to not buy, have rifles in the next, but Rogue will have earned themselves an insurance policy when it comes to how much cash they have instead. So
they could reset Rogue right back here. That's the thing.
They could.
And then Rogue has to save, so definitely a lot of value if they can make this round work.
Set smoke's coming down, pretty standard for the A site, as Rogue are just gonna, thought they were going to back up, but Sick can't quite hit the target. He was on bench, separated from the team, no chance to trade out. Vice will push through the smoke of jungle. These smokes will be fading shortly in the next 5 seconds. You'll have open lanes, and the bomb's not planted yet. That's what NRG needed to focus on doing, and that bomb actually tumbles over the triple box, leaving Daps and Ethan alone. Pop flash to try and play with. Into jungle they go. Daps got the first. Here comes Ethan with the AK as well.
What?
It's 2-on-1 spun right around on its head. Cadian does have the bomb, and it took a weird tumble just to get where it stands. It actually flew over the top of the triple box, and it's fortunate where it stands. Cadian's taking
hold it
for
this long, though. That's the thing. And he has the op. He's up against 2, and he's down to 9 HP. This is not looking good for Cadian. Ethan has a pop flash as well he could throw to let Daps clear Cadian out to get this bomb, but that's will just slowly walk over and grab it.
Plants it safe. Other side, Ethan standing on top of triple box. Both players covered, both players in the same spot. They go for a double peek. And that's one of those situations. There was an AK right behind Cadian. AK is a little bit better for a 1v2 situation, or 1vx in any form of the word, but with how low HP he was, it was a stretch. But since it's 1v2, I maybe would prefer the AK, but I mean, it's his bread and butter with the op.
Yeah, and the Ops' main gun, like you said, low HP as well, gives him a better chance to, get the frag he needs. But when you're having the multi-frag, certainly the AK might have been a little bit better. But either way, you probably shouldn't have got stuck in the situation. I mean, Rogue has the bomb down towards their own spawn. They just let Daps fly way too easily with the CZ out in connector and jungle. I mean, that shouldn't be happening. Those kills shouldn't happen.
Well, the first kill was actually, it was against Sick. Sick had a clean line of sight.
True.
The smokes were for jungle and on top of stairs, and he was at bench. He watched him come right up through A main, just didn't hit a target. And that was the first step of Mini in a kind of comedy
Sometimes
of
it does
errors.
just come down to a missed shot or just losing a fight. Makes the world of difference. And like you said, Sick going down without a kill, and Dat's getting that kill into connector with the CZ. Huge difference being made because of that. Now NRG do get that round. The force buy does pan out, and now they do have Rogue in a tough spot. They force up themselves. Then it gets scrappy here as we do have an underpass push, but Fuckley catches on to it.
And Breeze got the first, and now they can just put a capstone on the top of this one. Force Vice back down. There was a threat there because the bomb was right there at the top. A pop flash into the upper halls too. Doesn't net much of anything, but Cirque misses the shot. Just a shade wide. Still Vice was lurking down here. Fugly, it takes him a second or two to realize where that gunfire is coming from. Still possible, especially with how lit Breezy and now Fugly is as well. Those players are
problem
both
is the other
halls.
two have mid control, and his teammate is basically just nowhere that can be helpful as he pushed through Palace. So this round is a done deal for NRG. Sick will just save this UMP and armor. They have no money into the next round, so at least him holding on to will give them a little bit of something to work with. But yeah, their aggression just kind of failed there. And now they're letting NRG back into the game. I think, you know, if they hold off that force that NRG did last round, and then NRG does have to take a save, I mean, all of a sudden, you know, you're up, what, like 8-1? And instead, it's going to be 6-3.
Yeah. So one thing I'm actually noticing so far with Rogue, since we've been now watching 3 maps for these guys, is they'll play aggressive and they'll do these pumps into middle or like on overpass. It was bathrooms up into Fountain. We actually saw them aggress all the way into Fountain with presence on long. They work together on a lot of pushes, and I think NRG have really figured this one out, and they're punishing Rogue for doing that now. So they sit back, they'll wait, and it's just this culture shock, it seems. Rogue are not one-dimensional, but they, I believe, have beaten that horse to death. And it's probably time to play something a little bit more classic, I'd say, for the CT side. If your riflers die on those pushes, I mean, what work can Cadian do with an op?
Yeah, so Roger, again, they're in a situation where it's probably about to be 6-4, and it very easily could have been 9-1. You know, it just comes off of a couple of bad rounds, and now they are losing control of their lead big time. As they are going to stack over towards A. Breeze does step up, catch a couple of crossing, does do some damage to Vice, but realizes what's going on, and you can see that NRG are looking to divert away from all of it and just work their way into B.
Push aggressive. Breezy's feeling a little bit threatened right now, but he keeps his cool. 3-round bursts. Get themselves 1 kill, but it was Ethan jumping across the van. Bomb will be planted shortly enough. Only 2 stand. P250s and a P2000. Not any good against all the AKs and often all that firepower. So this is NRG winning 4 of the last 5 rounds that have been played out, but there was a lot of potential there. 4 rounds ago or so, when Rogue and NRG's economy was one way, like it was real thin. Both teams were on a kind of a pivot round, and it's just that NRG came up better on the coin flip.
Yeah, so now NRG is closing the gap big time. It is back to a buy from Rogue, but still no AWP in play, and 6 having to use a UMP. So certainly not ideal. They're going to go for an aggressive peek down ramp, and Cirque is waiting for them. It's one of those just aggressive they execute that NRG are looking to do. Again, they like to be fast-paced. They're going to keep that up. Sick at least responding with 1.
There's that pop flash from Sick. Oh, he dies just before it bursts. He peeks out early, leaves Guimond and Hiko alone. That pop flash is amazing, especially if you don't have anybody left towards jungle or ticket booth, because that flash really flashes the whole site. And since he was alone, he was going to have to make do with what he could alone, make individual efforts. He dies, and the round is just quickly over. Guimond and Hiko are forced to save back. And this is shades of Nuke, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is now the second time that Rogues had a big early start to a map and then let it slip through their fingers and allow their opponent back into the game. And I mean, to be fair, on Nuke is a little bit more understandable. You know, you're playing T-side of Nuke with the lead. Again, we know that 5-0 leads can be kind of misleading because it just means that you won pistol, 1 opening gun round, and the economy got the better of your opponent at that point. But it's moved past that now. I mean, we're now well into the gun rounds, and Rogue is struggling to win gun rounds. And Breezy giving us a nice little picture. Good smiley face.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's even got eyebrows.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Eyebrows are a little uneven, but otherwise pretty good.
Not everybody can be blessed with a symmetric face.
Oh, I mean, mine would have been worse for sure. There's no doubt.
So, like you said, Rogue have been struggling to win rifle rounds. This one shouldn't be much different. Gimon and Hiko's rifles saved from the previous, and then CZ's to kind of fill in the gaps. It's NRG doing as they do, just hesitating at the top end of mid right now, looking to see if the CTs are going to be pushing aggressively, covering Cirque's angles.
Oh, you hate to see this.
Oh, did they drop?
Yep, so this round's not going to count. It's not live, and we'll have to do like a quick match medic and replay 6-5. Now, hopefully this won't take too long. It just needs to get Katie back into the server, just run the match medic real quick, and then reboot this round, basically. So that'll be it. Hopefully it should be pretty easy to do. But yep, that's that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rogue can take their time, and I mean, this is going to end up being an elongated break, and they can talk about how they're going to really approach these next couple rifle rounds, because just like Nuke, NRG have just been able to out-aim their opponents, and even more so than that, they're able to out-trade their opponents. And when they get that first pick, it really, from the even trades there on out, you're healthy. But as far as these past 4 or 5 rounds have been, NRG have won one casualty in the past 3 rounds in a row. So just economy building through and through.
Yeah, so again, not sure how long this is going to take to rectify, so I think maybe we'll just go to a short break, and when we come back, we will have the match back live once Kane's back in, and we get the match medic going. So yeah, stay tuned, folks. We'll be back in a little bit.
And Cloud9 just 1 round away from hoisting the trophy here at iBUYPOWER Masters.
Because Renegades shouldn't expect it to be in
to think about a retake.
Yeah, that's one of those things I feel like Eco just needed to rotate. Like if they've put that much utility out on A, and 6 gotten killed by a terrorist who's sitting inside of the bomb site, and he's seen all of that going on, at that point, I think you just have to risk it. Like, yeah, they might be a ninja in the bomb B. Sure, it could all be a fake. It could be a sham, but I mean, probably not. I mean, NRG hasn't really thrown a fake yet this entire game. Like, they've either just done mid-control into some type of site split, or they've done fast executes like that. They haven't given you a reason to think they're going to fake. And yeah, sure, now could be that moment if you're, like, mind-gaming that far ahead, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he needed to be there. Of course, it just didn't help that Breezy just jumps over a box and kills 2 people in CT spawn in the blink of an eye. That pretty much killed any type of real retake effort. It's also one of those things where if you're going to play a retake A setup, like, Sick is just so isolated. Like, you have to know that NRG is prone to fast-paced executes. They've been doing it time and time again. And so those smokes come in so quick, and Sick's stuck on balcony. Like, that's, like, literally the worst place to be stuck at and be isolated from the rest of your team. He's just so vulnerable. Like, he has to go off for his team to have a chance to do an initial hold on that site. Or you just know you're setting up your team for a retake where they're at a man disadvantage.
I mean, Hiko's late rotation is actually a little bit more atypical from what we've seen from Rogue so far. It doesn't matter. Like, it was a great example 2 rounds ago with how fluid their movement was between one site and the other. And of course, they were short-handed on firepower in that round prior, but that allows them, I guess, to be a little bit more free. They don't have to play a little bit standard and keep an anchor on the site. They were very, very had a lot of freedom to move around the map. This time, though, Hiko stays on that site, and usually they've been pretty comfortable with moving around a lot. That time it ends up punishing them. It's just unfortunate that they weren't able to even see the bomb, with Sick dying early in the site and all that smoke choking off the vision.
Right.
But Rogue are in a really vulnerable spot right now. It's 7-6. They barely have the lead, but
they've been reset twice as well since their 5-0 lead. So the economy has definitely been a huge problem for Rogue all the way through. Now we do see NRG going back to something more default. So they've been really good at changing the pace. Like, they'll do this default that they like to do a lot. Either, 3 towards A and like 1 top mid 1 B, or they do this one where it's 2 mid 2 B and 1 A. So pretty common stuff. They've been really good at, like, throwing in those rapid pace attacks to keep Rogue on their toes. So it's definitely a good game being called from Daps, recovering from a 0-5 deficit to now having a 1-round lead, or working towards a lead, I should say. 1-round lead still there for Rogue, but it is dwindling.
Yeah, so that last round was the first round that Rogue were able to, I guess, save a little bit of extra firepower out of it, so they'll buy back into the round, leaving Cadian on a glass cannon, no armor, and it does look like the tides are shifting for NRG, sending 3 additional players to join forces with Ethan towards A ramp. Currently, nobody heading for Palace side, but same set smokes to come in. That'll leave Fugly to come in a little bit late through the connector side of things, but look at the information Sick's getting. Instead of being playing on top of the balcony, he's now in Palace. And if it's an A execute, he could actually snap 2 on these guys on site. He could stop the bomb plant. There's only 30-some seconds left, but he's been spotted now. Cirque hits him in the leg. Still, Cadian hits a shot. That's going to be a bomb stopped. 25 seconds, plenty of time considering that the T's own the site. They've lost their long rotator on the back end of this, and they pushed all the way into CT ticket. With 6 still alive, it looks like NRG is going to get caught up a creek. Cirque's alone, bomb on his back, but you know who else is on his back? Guimond in CT right now.
Yeah, this is going to be really tough on Cirque. He does get the bomb down, but winning, that's not going to be possible. Sick, being able to hold on to Palace the entire way through was so huge. I mean, that made like such a big difference. Also, Guimond getting some really big kills. Even when NRG were able to break through in the CT spawn and get Cadian down and control that, they could never get the bomb planted because A, they ran out of time because they played a slow round in general. And then, B, they could never deal with Sick and Palace. And he was always going to be a threat to, preventing the bomb plant. Or, if allowing it, being a big piece of, making sure that the round doesn't go the way of NRG. So, Rogue finally recover and get around. But they've done this a couple of times before. And they were unable to streak it together. Luckily, this is the last round of the half, so a reset wouldn't, harm them in that regard. But they need to try to build up their lead a little bit more, you have to feel.
Got a double up play for the first time for Rogue. Looks like Vice gets the first things done with a rifle. Dap's going to push up into connector. Think about it, but the smoke is choking him out, and Cadian's going to get the next kill as well. So the double ops are getting your first entries And you've got 2 players over towards the A side, but without the bomb. Cirque falls into Sandwich.
That was a rough mid
That was
battle, by the
scary.
way. Breezy
Cirque
tried
doesn't
to
see him. Oh, Sick was out in the open.
Yeah, like NRG just had such a bad start to this round. They tried to go for a pop flash peek into middle through a smoke, but the flash didn't work. Breeze gets killed for free. So it's instant 5-on-4, and then NRG didn't win anything else out in middle either, and they wound up just getting picked apart across the map. So big round for Rogue. They win the last 2. So they are still up 9-6, but a great recovery from NRG being down 0-5 and managing to find 6 rounds in the half in the last 10 played. So they're still certainly competing in this one.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, a reminder, we do have that giveaway going on down below that you need to check out. It is the grand giveaway here from iBUYPOWER, as well as a lot of our partners over at Western Digital, Intel, Microsoft, Radeon, and Samsung. So do be sure to check them out, as they do a great job supporting us by throwing tournaments like this. So definitely lend your support back. It's free to enter, chance to win a nice PC and some other stuff. So definitely do go and check that out as you can.
I'm actually impressed that this ended up being a pretty standard score round, score-wise for the half. Rogue ended up 9 and versus NRG 6 on a CT-sided map. That's pretty much par for the course. Rogue with a fantastic start, but as soon again as NRG end up with rifles, it takes them the second try with rifles. But they take the reins, steal them away from Rogue, and then Rogue struggles, getting rounds kind of peppered in there. The only back-to-back rounds they had after the fact of their first 5, I think, were the last 2. Just the saving grace was those peppering of rounds in between.
Yeah, just felt like NRG were able to get a lot accomplished with some of their faster pace attacks. A couple of times they were able to kind of catch a player stuck by himself inside of a site, isolate him, get the kill, get the bomb down, lock out the retake. Happened a couple of different times. All in all, good half though still from Rogue. They managed to recover it in the end. They won the last 3 out of 4 rounds to maintain their lead. So at least there was that, right? That recovery never happened for them on Nuke.
Yeah,
so that keeps them out in front as we transition sides.
All right, can Rogue continue the efforts of having some amazing pistol rounds comparative to NRG? I can't remember. It's been far too long. How did the pistol rounds play out for Rogue on Overpass? I know they won the first one, I think even without taking a casualty on Overpass. But they took both of them on Nuke. They took the first half here on Mirage. And that's been keeping them at least edged ahead in this game. So Rogue are now going to try and split this A site, Palace, and A main. Smokes to prelude the way in. It's going to be for jungle and top of stairs as well. Cadian's going to be first out and first in. Boots on the ground to the site. Ethan sees him coming and he'll just back out. The whole team has the discipline to be able to back up, let the T's come across, and look for the head boost in CT to punish the over-aggression.
Yeah, it all comes down to the CT spawn fight. When jungle and connector gets locked out by smokes, it all comes down to how these duels go in CT spawn, and Ethan wanted to just wait for the rotation and try to go for it together. They're getting caught out. Cirque recovering greatly with 3 kills. This might get them the round now, just off of Cirque's play.
Oh, yeah. Only Hiko left. Cirque's bloodthirsty. They've got the kit. They've got a lot of armor as well. And Breezy doesn't even stop for Hiko. To the top of the stairs, and NRG get a very important pistol round because those are difficult to come by for NRG. I'm certain Rogue is
They definitely won the majority of them this series. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, for sure.
Won both on Nuke. Won the first one in this game. So, yeah, certainly have been really successful with that. But, again, really good play from Ethan just to stay alive and then work together. Cirque delivering the kills. But the fact he had so many people around him that kind of take bullets and, take attention away certainly helped.
Got a surprise coming. Rogue got the bomb plant, and instead of yielding, they go for a force buy in this round. Cadian wants this kill so bad, he had him dialed in, but he couldn't get the job done. Hiko is in and crossfired on Catwalk, and you have a 5-on-2 advantage. Rogue's force buy has been flatlined. Nothing left to speak of. Only Vice with no armor and a Deagle, and Cadian with armor scout.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. I think you just save for the AKs. Unless you have some type of tactic in mind. Like you have some type of specific play, maybe like some certain utility set you're going to throw, a certain maneuver you're going to make. But they just ran out mid. I mean, they didn't really have like a true plan. It was just run out and fight.
Yeah.
And instead of having what could have been a nice AK buy in this next round, now all of a sudden you're You could still buy here, I guess, but you'd just be putting yourself into a trap where you just keep relentlessly force buying and never save the money you really want to get an op in AKs and utility.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a risk that they took. I feel like Rogues, the mentality aspect of that was they've been out aiming us with rifles. We need to get on this hay cart as quick as we can and prevent them from having rifles in the long run. So they try and go up against them before, when there's still some SMGs in play. Instead, now those SMGs have a lot of opportunity to farm. 3 of them on the field. 6 going to run headlong right across the Molotov and the smoke, and he steps on top of Breezy's head, or actually Daps' head, who's going to refresh that Molotov in there, and Fugly's working on a long flank as well to catch the terrorists and evict them from the apartments. Fugly with 3. That's a ton of money.
Yep, full house from Breeze and Fugly. They'll keep all those SMGs in play if they want to farm more cash, but they could be upgrading them as well, considering they know they're up against a full buy coming in here and now. I'm sure Cirque would love to drop this M4 to someone and get an AWP. But they may just play it. Yeah, they're going to go for it. Of course, we've seen like Furby and MP9 Master on CT side, Mirage. Definitely can do some aggressive plays with it inside Palace and things like that, make it very useful. This is in fact what Fugly and Ethan are doing.
It's an expendable round from NRG. So they could play fast. Breezy's at point-blank range. Breezy takes the 2 down to an AK. He flicks over to the 3rd. Sick is down, and now you've just got the 2 remaining Rogue players in the apartments. And like I said, there was an expendable income for NRG to go up against these guys. Still SMGs that would love to be able to upgrade some of the AKs afforded to them by Rogue. But they're not out of it yet. Vice and Hiko, even as wounded as they are right now, are waiting for some of the CPs to peak. And they do, but they still win the fights regardless. And look at the upgrades.
Yeah, that was a huge fat rip. Just trying to go for a fast B split, and then Breezy was just a brick wall in their face on Catwalk. That 3rd kill he got should have definitely gotten traded there. You catch the first person off guard, fair enough, but you got to get that trade going, and it just didn't happen for Rogue. Really good play from Breeze, and now Rogue are onto a really, really low buy. They have a bunch of smokes to do an A execute with, and it looks like what they're going to try to do, but if they can't get that bomb planted while the smokes are down, they're in for a lot of trouble, and this really should be an 11th round for NRG regardless.
There goes the smokes. Nobody's even thinking about pushing yet. Well, there goes 1 smoke, rather, that being Cadian's, I think. So this is Rogue just biding their time. If they can't outshoot them, which is likely the case for this round, if they can at least bait out a lot of the utility, it's drops in the bucket, but it's something better than nothing.
Yeah, they could really use a bomb plant to go along with what would be max loss bonus unless they win this round. Not the end of the world they don't get this bomb plant, because they do still have a lot of money saved up and they do have max loss, but it would be helpful.
Ethan's a little bit dangerously close, but they line up. He transfers to the next. The 6 falls down into his sight. Ethan, wisely realizing that he is wounded, will just take cover on the other side of the firebox. And the 11-9 scoreline has developed. NRG getting their pistol round, winning the first rifle round that's come their way, and then
they finally get a 5-0 start, right?
Right,
so
yeah, right.
That's great for them. And now they have so much money. Like, Rogue's going to have to string together several rounds in a row before they're ever going to get energy into a save. So they're never going to get an easy round, so to speak, unless they can go off for a few rounds. So that is... You hate to have to rely on that. And now look at this. Energy taking the flight to Rogue right away. They push underpass, and Cadian's already out of the equation thanks to Fugly. And they're not going to stick around to give a chance for a trade back. They're going to get the hell out of there. Cirque holds mid while they go through connector to get into more default positions.
That was so well executed, so quick, and just caught him off guard. And just that Cirque's holding top mid from connector, that's why they stopped their push and came back. It's like, you're safe. We've got that ground covered for you. Come on back. Bring it home. Vice is stomping around in the palace right now, and he fakes the retreat back and will stroll his way back to the front end of this. So it's going to be an A split between Palace and Connector. Ethan's in actually a fantastic spot to defend this. Crossfired with Fugly. Fugly's got the first frag. He could actually fall back here as well, play a little bit more passively, and just let the water crash upon the rocks. And only fire when you see the whites of their eyes. Vice, wrapping this corner, will be pulled down by Cirque. It's Sick and Hiko left. They're at least out of Connector right now. They'll use what utility they have, but every grenade they throw seems to cost them another body. Last man standing, and Hiko will take a shot to the back.
Yeah, again, like we talked about, just that aggressive play did so much for NRG. You know, getting the kill, getting the information, getting away, free 5-on-4, basically. And then holding off the split well as Fugly playing from jungle, watching that connector. Oh, it is Rogue buying up what they can. Again, they're on max loss bonus, so they could just keep buying over and over and over again until they really want to save for utility and an op. So it's kind of up to them how they want to play that out, but they're going to go for a fast A play again. This time, no mid presence. It's all going to be focused on spilling out of Palace. And Ethan is alone at A, but he's the type of player who will just back off if he feels like he's getting overwhelmed and give time and just do the retake. But instead, he holds his ground here, just gets a couple of kills, gets 3, in fact. What a play from Ethan.
Makes it look easy. Only Hiko and Cadian left. Hiko's at sandwich. Cadian's just going to push through that smoke. Now that they got the kill, oh, surprise! Cirque was sitting on bench. I didn't even anticipate that one, but Cadian realized that he was dead to rights.
That's the thing about that smoke on jungle, man. People always will peek that bench. That's why you see a lot of teams throw a Molotov on it now, on top of the 2 smokes. And Cirque makes him pay for not having done so. And really, Ethan was really the one that was, you know, taking up cash over there. And it is not looking good for Rogue. They have yet to strike a single round in this half. And most of these rounds haven't even looked close. Like, most rounds, NRG are surviving with 4 players or all 5 players.
Yeah.
There was only the most they've lost is 2 players in a round. Every other round they've only lost 1 or none. So it's been dominant.
Net positives, added value every time to NRG. So I think they've actually got affordability to take 2 rounds of loss in a row. And I don't see this train stopping. In fact, Rogue are to the point where they're at max loss bonus, and they've been there for a while, but it has been a day and a half since they've gotten a bomb plant, it seems. Cirque is throwing flashbangs in the underpass so they can hold this angle. He'll pick off the first, and Bodley peek again, taking a couple shots to the arms there as well. He'll fall back. Ethan posted up to watch out of the connector side. He's getting fired and chased through the smoke. Guillemont trying to be a hero. Pushes it into a 5-on-3. You're going to get another very healthy round from NRG, and without another bomb plant, Rogue's economy is like into that like back and forth state.
Yep,
8
absolutely.
rifles and then pistol armor and rifles. It's not pretty.
It's really not. Especially the NRG getting up to 14 here. And now you have to just keep force buying now because you don't have room to take a save round unless you're going to play for overtime.
Yep.
And it's even worse, they don't carry over any guns into this round. They didn't get to save those 2 AKs, so it's really piling on at this point for Rogue. NRG are just looking too strong. I mean, again, you can't let people just pop off like that for multi-frags. I mean, Ethan just, he just stood still and CT Spawn got 3 kills in M4 on people spilling out of Palace. Like, you gotta trade that. At some point, it does just simply come down to whether or not you can frag or not. Unfortunately, some of Rogue's members are really struggling this game. No one's really doing particularly well, to be honest, but when you have an NRG team that's all firing pretty well, and no one on your team's really going out of their way to carry the game, then, I mean, your win conditions are limited.
Cirque used his flashbangs for underpass. Same strat as he was pulling last round when he got those kills on top mid. Cadian now comes up and in. Mid control does belong to the T's for the time being. Breezy comes off a catwalk as well, so you have a pretty good look for a pinch on the A site. Fugly's in close, so the pistols overwhelm him. It's difficult to track them jumping across that threshold, but still Ethan again, just posting up. One after the next, and it is only Cadian. Again, no chance to win the round. That should be NRG's 15th, and they're making it look super easy. I mean, this...
Yeah, there's nothing he could really do. I mean, he can't even do economic damage. There's just too much money on NRG. Like, all he can really do is hope to maybe find a way to get a gun to carry into the next round. That's really about it. The chance of a bomb plan's 0. So yeah, it's just all about, can I catch a kill, grab a gun, somehow push somewhere where I can save it. But yeah, he's boxed in there. So that's going to be series point for NRG. They're looking to book their ticket to the finals. And I mean, to be fair, they were certainly one of the favorites to make the finals from this end of the bracket, Liquid being the favorite on the other end, and they'll get their chance against Hork later. But yeah, Rogue will have one final stab at it, as they did take a lesser buy in the previous round to get a full buy in this one. So
okay, the last 2 raw. It'd be a shame if it goes from 9-6 to 9-16. Be an ugly one. So far, NRG perfect for their CT side. And keeping the T's at bay right now with the Molotovs, especially in towards the apartments. It looks like they might want to split. Well, they could actually split both directions. They've got 3 towards mid, and then they've got those 2 players, one up in A main and one in the apartments, so they could more likely than not wrap into the A site, but they could do B as well if something develops, if they get a kill up on that catwalk player or not.
All the marbles on this. At least Rogue's gotten some really quick connector control, so this is nice as this opens up a lot of options for you. They could still split A. The bomb with Cadian is towards the spawn in A ramp with Vice and 6 coming to meet Gamon, so definitely an A split could work out really well here. But just Ethan has such a powerful position in Sandwich. Like, that's a really good angle to have onto Palace or to assist with an A hit. If Fugly takes first contact, Ethan can come out and trade. He's not immediately exposed to a connector push unless they come over the top, so still might be a tough defense to crack, but I like Rogue's positioning here. I think they should have a good chance at succeeding.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of angles, especially for Ethan. He's going to have somebody on top of the stairs behind him in a heartbeat, and Fugly's not in a position to peek wide enough to be able to help him out, lest he exposes to A main. There's Ethan. He goes bold again, the 1 and 2, catching Rogue just as they're about to execute, and that is 5 kills in a right quick hurry.
Yeah.
9-6
Ethan had
to 9-16.
so many multi-frag rounds on A site towards the end of that second half, man. He was just getting double kills, just every time he was asked, basically, to do something, he did it. So he definitely became a real problem for Rogue at the end. And so that will do it for our first semifinal. As it is NRG, your victors. They have booked themselves a spot in the grand finals where they will play the winner of our next semifinal, which is going to be Tort taking on Liquid. And that game should be starting in about 30 minutes. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, we do have that giveaway going on we have to remind you of, so be sure to check it out at the bottom of the screen. You'll see some images for the Extreme Rig Challenge and the Grand Giveaway. Be sure to vote now on the Rig Challenge and get into the Grand Giveaway to win some free stuff, including a computer that is valued at around $1,600. So it costs you nothing to enter, and you might have a chance at some free stuff. And it's a way to kind of give some support back to the companies who are giving us some support and throwing a nice weekend tournament for us over here in the NA scene for CSGO. I am Dust. With me has been Topical throughout the past couple of days, and you can give him a follow over at topical_TV. Give me a follow at followdust. And if you type !casters in chat, it'll give you direct links to our Twitters and make it even easier to follow up. And Topical, since this is your last moment of this tournament, at